Okay, Discovery Track, we're back with more quality. We just heard from Conviva, now we're hearing from Touchstream, talking again about quality in streaming. This is Quality Day, and it's very important. Brenton Ough of Touchstream has flown all the way from Australia just to deliver this presentation and a few other things. And he's going to be talking to us, and at the end of it, one of you is going home with this very lovely GoPro Hero 4 Silver Edition. So, Brenton, teach us.
Great, thanks very much. Hi, I'm Brenton Ough from Touchstream. We're a live stream monitoring solution. Basically, we poll the CDN for your live stream, so you can figure out what your live streams are in our system, and we check them every minute, 24 hours, 24 by 7. So it's a very good way to make sure that all your streams are available and working. So we'll just have a little bit of a story now. A lot of these numbers, these are kind of numbers that you see all over the internet. You know, I think we all know the reason we're here is that the internet streaming media is huge and it's growing, and there's obviously a lot of money involved and a lot of data being consumed. I mean, Cisco and all of those other vendors keep telling us, you know, that I think by 2020, 80-something% of the world's internet traffic will be video. So some of the other numbers that particularly our friends at Conviva will talk about a lot is what it means when quality is poor. So, you know, this 33% abandonment rate when there's poor quality video, you know, just all these different rates, and Conviva and various other companies put out a lot of great data about that. And this is the problem that we're trying to address. So just a little bit of fun for now. A little video.
Hey, we've got a problem here.
What did you do?
Nothing, I stirred the tanks.
Whoa. Hey.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
So that's just a little fun video, and it really it's about, you know, what is it that the problem that we're trying to address here? And it's like things go wrong. What did you do wrong? I stirred the tanks. You know, geez, I didn't know that was going to affect anything. So and what it did is just everything blows up, and then all the screens are flashing. Nobody knows what's going on. There is no clear indicator of what the actual problem is. Everything's flashing, everything's going wrong. So it's being able to home in on what the problem is, and what does this mean when you do have a problem? You know, how does this actually affect your business? And we've got some interesting numbers here. We actually do monitor some serious live stream events that people actually pay for. So big games that people pay money for, and it's very easy for the numbers to add up very, very quick. When you have a problem, people will actually, if they paid $10 for a day pass for the event, and you know, have a lot of abandonment, everyone's going to start calling in customer support and asking for a refund. Or if you're a general subscription service, maybe they won't renew next month or whatever. But it can happen very quickly, and actually, incidentally, the company that we worked with on this, basically when there was a problem, Twitter, everyone would be sort of tweeting, "Oh my God, I got a problem. I've got a refund from the provider of this." Well, actually, what then actually happened was a lot of people who didn't have a problem also asked for a refund because the company knew there was a problem. So these sort of numbers can add up really fast, and numbers can get really big. And this is just on one event. So, you know, what are the things that make people scream? You know, as you've just heard from Conviva, but you know, these are the things that everyone knows: stalled video, buffering, won't start, you know, or very poor quality. That, you know, people just can't stand it. People say, "No, this isn't what I paid for. I want my money back." So what we did was said, well, what if you could know about these problems before the customers complain? Now, so having some in-stream monitoring is great. It's really, really important. We actually always advise that you do in-stream and what we call synthetic monitoring. So if you can actually see these problems before they happen, monitoring all the endpoints and get really good information to help you quickly identify the root cause, then you're able to nip these problems in the bud before they become customer problems, and obviously not suffer the problem of people asking for their money back. So what if we could actually reduce the abandonment rate by 25 percentage points? So, a little bit on how we can do that. How our product works, this live stream monitoring, is that we have in the middle here we have our core system, which lives in Amazon. It's a huge environment, uses lots of Amazon technology, and then we have these cloud polars. Now, these cloud polars can be distributed anywhere on the internet, and we have them at strategic places all over the world. And these are the things that actually make the request. So, if you're located in a specific country, it is monitoring from in-country. Or, in the case of the US, we have some on the East Coast, some on the West Coast, some in the middle. So you're getting a bit of a geographical dispersion. And we're making these requests to the CDN, so all the any CDN, it doesn't matter which one, but we work closely with the major ones. And also potentially, or if you package yourself, we'll monitor the origin as well. It's very important. Actually, if you do that, it's a great way of seeing if the problem is an encoding problem. So if CDN goes red and origin goes red, then actually it's an encode problem. So look at your encoding stack. If it's just the CDN that goes red, then look at your delivery chain, your CDN partner. So that's the simple view of how, high-level view of how our system works. And then, so what we have is we have these very high-level dashboard. So the top-level dashboard here looks like this, and basically it's showing you the worst performing streams. And this is over time, 30 minutes, and there's the one failure there, two failures there, and then the major outages down the bottom. So that's kind of giving your operations team an overview of what your current live status is of all of your live streams. And we have customers with over 1,000 live streams. And then you just roll it up into the top. Here are the worst ones. So we monitor many thousands of streams, but for individual customers, we've got at least two that are over 1,000. And then what we do from a details perspective is when we see a problem, these little red dots up here, you can actually click on those and get the actual detailed call breakdown. And in that call breakdown, right down the bottom there, you'll see I think it's a 404 error or something like that. But basically, it couldn't get something. And so we're capturing everything that we do every time we do it. So that when you do have a problem, you can get right down to the deep detail really quickly, one click down to the detail, and you can actually share that with you can share that with a CDN, and they can help troubleshoot the problem. So it's really about seeing the problem straight away, seeing exactly what it is, being able to share that information with your CDN provider, or it could be a cloud encoder or someone like that, being able to share that information, and it's very, very detailed information, which they can then look at their system and say, well, this is what the cause is, and potentially fix the problem. So anecdotally, in Australia, we monitor all the major sports, including AFL, which is our great Australian rules football. If anyone's ever seen it, it's real men's football, as opposed to that other one you play here. But basically, it's a great app. It's one of the highest grossing apps in the Apple App Store. And for the finals, because people, when they have those games on, they start encoding early in the morning, and they encode just a slide or something. We're testing it then, before the app's even switched in to that stream. And during the finals, we saw a problem first thing in the morning. The game wasn't until 2 o'clock. We identified the problem, saw the root cause. It took them 3 hours to fix it. They fixed it, the game went on, finals game, and the streaming worked perfectly. No problem at all. Now, it took 3 hours, the game takes 2 hours. So if they had have seen that at the point where users started to look at it, and other monitoring, in-player monitoring, sort of said, oh, it's failing for everyone, they never would have fixed it. So no one would have seen that game. So everyone would have asked for their money back. So these are the sorts of problems that we can identify and get you right to the root cause of the problem early, very early, preferably before people are watching it. So we have a lot of, that was the key things. We have other metrics, we have other graphs, we have reports and other things that you can look at. So there's just a few more pictures of things. Actually, sorry, I jumped ahead of my presentation. That was one. The first one was one I just spoke of. The other one that we had was basically was actually caused by a caching problem on the CDN. The rogue if anyone knows, a little bit technical, is a concept of E-tags, which actually dictate your caching time. Well, they actually weren't using E-tags, they were actually using the CDN's own caching rules, but a rogue E-tag came into the header. Now, what that actually meant was that the manifest got over-cached and would stay longer than it was. So basically the stream stalled. It was just showing the same looping video. With our detailed breakdown, you could actually, we capture all the headers, we capture lots of interesting information. We're actually able to identify that this was the cause. It took a while, but we had the data. Because we're capturing it all the time, we had the data that was available to them, which wouldn't be available any other way, for them to actually, well, we actually worked on it with them and identified that this E-tag was happening. Every time we saw it stalled, there's an E-tag in it when it shouldn't have one. So it's just, we capture a lot of really good detailed information that helps basically helps you capture problems that you wouldn't have even thought of. So back to the what you're doing. Obviously, we picked a big numbered event, but as you see, the 2,000 subscribers, we're reducing the abandonment rate by 25 percentage points. We could potentially save millions of dollars on some of these individual events. So this is a very high profile one. It might not be the same for everyone, but you get the point. Just by reducing that abandonment rate somewhat, you can potentially, the solution pays for itself, first time you see a problem. So that's, hopefully a nice big number for you to save. So basically, our motto is keeping you streaming smoothly. No relationship with Microsoft whatsoever, but that's our aim. So so that's. Did anyone have any questions?
Round of applause for our presenter, Brenton. Very good job. That whole thing streamed very smoothly to me. We have several minutes for questions now. So who is going to be first? Who has a problem needs to be overcome? We're not doing the drawing unless we get a question. Got one? Someone give me a question. No?
No?
Well, a very quiet bunch. Okay, thank you. Thank you for saving us, Mark.
Can you describe the network of probes that you would deploy? You said that it's cloud-based, or is it just that you're pointing at a URL?
It's all cloud-based. So we provision our POPs, which are basically virtual servers, and basically we just need a VPS provider that supports Ubuntu. Our probe, our POP, is basically an Ubuntu appliance. So we just put it on anything that does virtualization, and there's, as I'm sure you know, there's hundreds and if not thousands of them. We start with the top tier. We use Amazon, Azure, SoftLayer, and a couple of other big names, and then we use a lot of second tier ones to get to sort of slightly quirky places, or get better geographic. In the south of France, there'll be some little player down there. So we can basically distribute them anywhere you need them.
So as a follow-up to that, is this a service offering that you provide,
yes,
as opposed to me going out and buying for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole thing is totally cloud hosted. There's also, the other thing is there's nothing to install. Like in player stuff, you have to compile, the part of the, something into your app or into your player or whatever. Ours is nothing. It's completely, hands off. You don't have to change anything of your own infrastructure. You just basically have to supply the manifest, the URLs for where your stream endpoints are, and multiple CDNs, they'll obviously be different URLs. But yeah, all you do is supply the manifest and the rest just works.
Anyone else? Okay, looks like not.